John Davidson here with Springworks Equipment Group. Let's get ready for another episode of Fix It Friday.
Today we're discussing the universal coupling block for the PMC guns. At some point, maintenance is going to be required. There's some daily cleaning and aspects and some grease that you can apply to the various areas, but at some point, service is going to be required. One of the aspects of the universal coupling block is the rebuildable valves that PMC manufactures. Okay, now we're discussing how to rebuild the manual valve. Once you remove it from the hose, set it off to the side, you have the manual valve. One of the important aspects about the manual valve is the reverse thread at the seat in order to take it apart. Gun wrench around the end, 1/4 inch open end here. You'll notice that there's a flat spot on the seat. Don't forget, again, like I said, it's reverse thread. In order to remove it, you have to go the other side, the other direction. Once you do that, you can now remove the stem and the seals by twisting out the stem out of the housing. That's a standard thread. Once you remove the stem, you'll notice there's 2 rings for seating and sealing. The backup ring is either red or white, depending on the date in which you received your valve, and then the O-ring that's fully replaceable. Take your dental pick, remove the seals as necessary. Backup ring may not necessarily need replaced. You have to make that call when you take it apart. Generally the ISO side, the rings are going to dry out, may require removal. Some of the resins do cause the rings to swell. PMC's done everything in their part to assure that there's a good chemical resistant O-ring available that'll hold up under the conditions that we use them under. So again, just replace the O-rings, backup ring if it's required, and then again you can just reassemble the valve and put it back to use. Again, I want to emphasize if you're reusing the seat, again it is reverse thread and it is a seat, so it does require some cleaning around the end before you put it back in the block. One of the ways, if you're fully cleaning the block, that you can do is shine a flashlight underneath the seat area and see if you have any light shining around that seat as a test. You can always be sure to practice all safety measures when you go to repurge your system to get the air out from maintenance in your block end. But once you do that, maybe before you get to your work area while you're still in a safe area, go ahead and do a low pressure test and make sure everything's seating right. Once you've disassembled and you've cleaned up all the parts to your valve, you've put the seals back on in the order. Remember, you need the seat, and the backup ring is in the back, and the O-ring is towards the top. Apply a liberal amount of grease here. Once you apply the grease, thread the stem and the seals in through. Here you just want to go by feel. Make sure that you just get it. Go ahead and get it started. Remember, those seals are soft, so go ahead and run it all the way to where it stops. You may require the gun wrench to go ahead and get it there. Once you have it all the way through, you're going to apply a little bit of Loctite to the end of the stem. And remember that the seat that threads on there is a reverse thread. With the gun wrench at the end of the stem, you just take a 1/4 inch open end, and again reverse thread. Get that to go on tight. Let that dry. While that's drying, you can drive this out. So the seat is all the way in the withdrawn position before you place it in the block. The reason you draw that back is you don't want to mash the end of that seat anywhere in the block as you're reassembling inside the block. Again, you'll want to use thread tape or thread paste on an older block. They have a tendency to want to leak here at the valve area. Just make sure you get a good seat. It's really important to clean around the block, around the bottom of that stem before you go putting this back on ones that are used again. Once you have it in that position, everything's dried up properly, you can go ahead and close the valve. Make sure it's good and seated.
Comment below and tell us what you would like to see in our next Fix It Friday. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more of these videos.